It's story time. Story time. Let's read a story time. Story time. I'm geeked to story time. Story time. You and me, it's story time. Story time. Let's achieve. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Story Time with me, Kayla. How are you doing on this beautiful Wednesday? I hope you're doing good and making sure to please stay safe. Now today we have another special author feature. Today we will take a look at a book by Tiffany Jackson. She is all about positive representations for Black kids and empowering young Black girls. And she was inspired to write tonight's book. And so, without further ado, the book we'll be reading tonight is called Introducing Brave Brown and Her Dog Fearless, written by Tiffany Jackson. You ready to see what this book is all about? Ready, set, let's begin. Introducing Brave Brown and Her Dog Fearless, written by Tiffany Jackson, illustrated by Bob Noonan and graphic artist Isaac Walker III. Here we go. Look at that beautiful brown girl on the cover. I see ya and I appreciate you. Let's jump straight into this book. Let's begin. Daddy, I can't go to sleep. I'm scared, shouted Ari from her room. Have you ever you just can't go to sleep at night? You're too scared and you need your mom and your daddy? I've definitely been there before. Ari's dad turns around in the hallway and returns to Ari's room. With a syrupy sweet voice while batting her big brown eyes, she begs, "Can you please read my superhero book again? Just one more time?" Ari's dad sighs with exhaustion and sits down. "Just one more time, Ari. You really need to get some sleep, and so do I," he sighs. Ari's dad reads the superhero book again, puts the book back on her shelf again, and kisses her on her forehead again. "Daddy, I wish I was a superhero," she says in a wishful voice. "Then I would not be afraid." In a deep, reassuring voice, her dad says, "In many ways, you already are a superhero, Ari. Everything will be all right. I promise. Try to get some sleep," he pleads. While closing the door, he says, "Good night, my little superhero," and turns off the light. "Good night, Daddy," Ari says, and then yells, "Good night, Mommy," to her mom downstairs. As soon as the light goes out, the room takes a whole new feeling. It's scary. The eyes from her favorite stuffed animals bulge out. Ooh. So her favorite dog and rabbit and bear and frog stuffed animal, they looking kind of crazy when it's all nighttime. Ooh. The pile of dirty clothes sitting on top of her hamper looks like a giant spider, and the lampshade on the nightstand next to her bed looks like a big wicked witch's hat. Everything looks and feels spooky. Yeah, when it seems when all the lights turn off, things change. Seem like Ari pulls the covers over her head in fear, but then it's even more dark. "Daddy!" she screams. Her dad comes back into her room and turns on the light. Click. But everything goes back to normal. There's the frog, the dog, the bunny, and the bear. Ari peeks out and cries, "They're looking at me." Her dad looks up at the shelf of stuffed animals. "But you love Bunny Bob and his friends, Ari. They are here to keep you company," he says calmly. "I know," Ari whines, "but I feel like they are watching me, waiting to see if I can fall asleep. They are creeping me out." One by one, her dad turns the stuffed animals around to face the wall. You guys need to go to sleep too. With that, Ari's dad leaves the room. But before he closes the door, in trots Ari's dog Sam, who flops onto his mat. He ready to lay down too. As Ari snuggles down in her bed, she closes her eyes. There is a sound, a sinister sound. Tap, 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 scrape, scratch. Tap, 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 scrape, scratch. Sam, do you hear that? She whimpers. Sam's ears spring up to attention, but he just rolls over and goes back to sleep. Sam is a big help, huh? Knowing her daddy wants her to go to sleep, and he has already been to her room more than once, Ari softly knocks on the wall next to her bed 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Grand, can you hear me? She asks. Soon, Ari hears the familiar shuffle of Grand's favorite fuzzy blue slippers coming down the hallway toward her room. As soon as Gran opens the door, Ari's room is immediately flooded with Gran's soapy scent. Ari inhales and relaxes. From the doorway, Gran's shadow is much bigger than the spooky shadow in her room. Gran turns on the light. She smiles as she sits down on the side of Ari's bed in her special spot. Grandmas are just everything. They make everything better. What's going on, Ari? Gran wonders. Daddy turned Bunny Bob and his friends around so they can stop looking at me with their big bulging eyes, Ari says. What can I do, sweetheart? Asks Gran. Ari puts her fingers up to her mouth and makes the shh sound. Then she whispers, Gran, listen, I keep hearing a noise. A tap, 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 and then a scrape, then a scratch. Daddy wants me to go to sleep, but that tap, tap, tapping doesn't want me to. Tap, tap, tap. Gran explains, oh, Ari, that tap, tap, tap is the small branch tapping on your window. Well, it sounds like someone is flicking their finger on my window to come in and get me. I could see how she would be scared about that. Gran opens the window, breaks off the small branch, and tickles Ari's chin with it. See, Ari, it's just a tickly old branch, says Gran. Ari giggles, then puts her pillow over her face to muffle the noise. She does not want to wake up her mom and dad. I think that's a good idea. Gran scolds the branch. No more tapping, branch. She turns to Ari. Is that better? Much better, Gran. Good night. Ari sighs with relief. Gran winks at her, turns off the light, and closes the door. See, Grans really do make everything better. As she sits very still on her bed, Ari stares at the branch. The hair on her head stands up. She watches the branch grow and grow and grow into a giant hand. She can feel it reaching for her. Even her dolls notice. Gran is halfway down the hall when she hears Ari knock again. This time, 5 knocks. Much harder and much louder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gran, the tickle branch turns into a giant hand when you turn off the light. It's gonna grab me. Maybe you should sleep in here. Do you think it's really trying to grab her? What you think? Gran smiles. Ari, you have to be brave. Ari whimpers. I don't know how. Being brave means trying something new, says Gran. Something new? Like what? Whines Ari. Let's use your imagination. Close your eyes and picture the sun, instructs Gran. I see it, Ari says with a smile. Feel its warmth on your skin, says Gran. I feel it, squeals Ari. Imagination is the power to see, feel, and experience things in a different way, explains Gran. Like a superpower? Asks Ari. Exactly, Gran shouts with excitement. Your imagination is your superpower. With her eyes still closed, Ari sees the tickly branch turn into a magic wand, the spooky lamp turn into a castle, the spider hamper turn into a giant ice cream cone. She can taste the chocolate on her tongue. Mm. When Gran sees Ari using her imagination, she slips out of the room and turns out the light. So using something, instead of thinking of negative, she turned everything into a positive with her imagination. Ari finally falls fast asleep. She has the most amazing dream. She is a superhero and she transforms her room into a magical place. As she is soaring through the air, her stuffed animals cheer her on in amazement. She orchestrates the tap, tap, tap into music that plays in the background. Swoosh. Ooh, look at that. Everything changes as she swooshes by. She even sees herself sleeping soundly. So she's not afraid of anything. She's using her imagination to be brave and bring positivity. Look, she even watching herself sleep. And her doll isn't scared anymore. Ari stretches out of bed. Though she's a little tired from using her imagination all night, she can't wait to tell Gran about it. Again, she hears the familiar sound of Gran's fuzzy blue slippers shuffling down the hallway. Sam's eyes open as he hears her coming. She's like, oh, I can't wait. Can't wait to tell what happened to me. That morning, while Gran is brushing Ari's hair, Ari reveals her dream of being a superhero and flying around her room. I never woke up once, Ari boasts. I was brave and I used my imagination. Proud Gran gives Ari a great big hug. That was a very brave thing to do, says Gran. I think we should call you Brave Brown. Every time you feel scared, remember your superhero name, Brave Brown. Ari's eyes twinkle. She loves it. Then she asks, but what about Sam? Can he have a superhero name too? Yes, indeed, says Gran. We will call him Fearless. Ooh. That's Brave Brown. Watch out for her. Later that night, Ari's mom finishes reading the superhero book to her. Again. This time, Ari imagines she is the superhero. Ari's mom kisses her goodnight and says, good luck tomorrow with show and tell. Ari drifts off to sleep until suddenly she awakens, startled by her thoughts. She wonders, I wonder what Brave Brown would do. That's a great question. And here's a little bit more about our author and illustrators and graphic artists. And she also left us with, we could design our very own superhero, which is pretty cool. And you can also learn more about this book and find your copy on her website, allaboutbrown.com. Wonderful book. The end. Yes, K-Crew. Isn't it cool to be brave? Now, I hope you all enjoy reading this book as much as I did. To find your copy, make sure to head on over to her website. And of course, be sure to follow on social media. A big thank you to our author, Tiffany Jackson, for my book and mug. I can't wait to read more about Ari pretty soon, I hope. I thank you all as well for joining me, but it's time to say goodbye. Are you ready? Here we go. Goodbye, 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 my friends. Goodbye to you. I hope to see you again real soon. Be proud of all your work tonight. Now climb into bed and sleep real tight. On the count of 3, let's say goodnight. 1, 2, 3.